Hello guys, here we are back at the eXilium YouTube channel. I'm Felix and I'm here with another deck profile. I got first place at the German Open on Sunday 2 days ago. We had 512 players and I went 9-0 and finishing first place, winning the whole event. Was a very nice tournament and I'm gonna present you the list now. I played Tearlaments. Even though the deck got hit pretty hard on the ban list, I still think it's really good. And we have the usual setup, the three names, Merle, Sharon and Hafnis, and triple Rhinoheart and triple Tearkash. That's like all pretty standard. Then the two remaining Ishizu cards after Agido and Kelbeck got banned. They're still really good in a lot of matchups in the meta against like Fire King, Rescue Ace, Labyrinth. But also there's some matchup where you side them out, so against Kashtira, if I go second, I usually side them out. Then the new engine, I played the Horus engine with 3 MZT and 1 Happy. That was like the MVP of the weekend in both tournaments. Those cards were really, really good. And then for additional engine cards, they're like semi-starters, but they're also like all right to play into boards. I played 2 Fenrir because they can search Tearkash, and if you already have like a Tear card in grave, you can then extend your place. And they're also semi-part of your end board or as an interruption. And then I played 2 Malicious and 1 Unchained Shayama, basically as a third level 6 hero to make Beatrice, because Beatrice is still like a really strong card. Even if you can't send Agido Kelbeck, you still can send like a tier card to get like a trap or a spell, and then the opponents are usually foolish like a name to make a fusion summon. And the last monsters are 3 King of the Swamp and the Poly to search. And yeah, King of the Swamp is really, really good now. I think it's mandatory if you want to play the deck. You make roll colors. It's an Aqua for Kaleido Heart. And going second with Polymerization, you can make Guardian Chimera. And I think like every time I made Guardian Chimera, I won the game. So that's it for the monster cards. Then we have the spell cards, the Poly. Then all pretty standard. We played 3 Field Spell, 3 Scream, 1 Heartbeat. Before the ban list, a few tier lists played only 2 Scream, maybe no Heartbeat or only in the side, but I think you want to max out all the tier cards. You're going to see that in my trap lineup as well. Then I played the 2 Zark for the Horus cards. You can even argue to play a third Zark, but I don't really want to brick on them, but having 2 is really good in case you already mill 1. And then the 2 Foolish, 1 normal Foolish and 1 Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods to get like the tier traps into the grave or Trivikama or Scream, and yeah. Those cards are good, and you can also side them out going second, or if you're afraid of Draw and Lockbird. And then now for the traps, I played Triple Salik, Meta Noise and Trivikama. Triple Salik is also maybe something new, because usually you only play 2, because you don't want to brick. But with the ban list, you don't mill as much anymore, so the mills you do with like a Tearkash mill 2 in the grave or mill 3 on field, you need to hit. So I think maxing out the tier cards is really important. I was even considering playing a second Heartbeat or a second Meta Noise to have even better targets. But if you like get the Salik or Meta Noise into grave and get the Surge, and next turn you get another Salik with Scream, and then you can pitch it again for Rhinoheart, you get like so much advantage. So I think maxing out or like playing a lot of those traps is really good. And I think I only had like 1 hand where I opened like I think 3 or 4 traps and then could not play that much. So I think it's fine. It's like the trade-off you need to do. Then for the extra deck, it's all pretty standard and pretty soft. I would say it's like 14 safe cards you have to play, and then there's 1 flex spot. The roll colors for King of the Swamp. I'm not playing the Grotha Fusion, the other fusion for King of the Swamp, because there's not really space for it, and usually you make roll colors first. And if you can make Grotha on top, usually you're already winning. So I think it's win more, and roll colors is by far more important. Then we played Kaleido Heart, that's like obvious. Then Dangerous to go into a fusion with Malicious and make them Beatrice, because having a fusion with 1 Malicious is basically Beatrice on its own, because you make Dangerous and then you can pitch a card and Foolish Malicious again. Then the Guardian Chimera to make with Poly. Not a lot of people play this, but I think it's a really strong card. With Poly engraved, it cannot be targeted. It's like really good against Rescue Ace, and yeah, I would not cut that card. Then Muddragon, Garura, and Drexopelia. Muddragon is by far the fusion I make the most, because you always make it in the combo with like the first fusion, and then you can make with Muddragon and Rhinoheart, you make Bahamut Shark to go into totally awesome. So the next cards are the Exceeds, so we have Bahamut Shark into Toad. Then we have the Zombie Vampire for the Horus cards. We have Beatrice, And the last card is Typhon. On the event on Saturday where I got top 8 at the HGK in Berlin, I did not play Typhon, I played Redoer. But on Saturday I didn't make Redoer all tournaments, so I kicked it out for Sunday and played Typhon. Funny enough, I didn't use the Typhon a single time, but there was like 2 games where I could have maybe made Redoer, so maybe I'm gonna swap it back for Redoer. But there's also option to play Laser Link monster like Barricade Blocker, or maybe the Grapha Fusion, or Guilty Gear Free, this is a super poly target, or I don't know. That's like the one flex spot, I would say. And for the links, it's SP, Sprint, and Dark. SP and Sprint are like super mandatory. Maybe you can cut Dark, but I think it's really good. It won me a lot of games where I stole like an Owl Bus from a brand player. You can steal all the Labyrinth monsters, so I like Dark. And finally, the side deck. Since I don't play any non-engine in the main deck, I decided to play some hand traps on the side. So if I go second, I can side out like the Horus cards or the hero cards. It's like always a bit matchup dependent what you side out. But we have Nibiru for combo decks, and especially Kashtira, Street Roll for even more combo decks, and Fire King. This was like the MVP card from the hand traps. Every time I saw it, it was like game against Fire King, against Dragon Link, against whatever combo decks I played. And then I would say the by far best card of the side deck, something you could even main deck, is Triple Rescue Ace Impulse and the Fire Attacker. That's like a really, really cool card. You can activate it if your opponent activates a monster effect on field. Then you tribute the Impulse, summon the Fire Attacker. And as you saw maybe in the finals of the German Open, when Henry started with Fenrir, searching Fenrir, I chained Impulse, Fire Attacker, draw 2, discard 1. You can discard cards like Trivikama or the tier cards and that trigger, so it's like a really, really strong card. And with Impulse, you want to draw into your draw, nip, or the Super Poly. Usually you would main deck Super Poly in this deck, but I feel like you don't have the option anymore to, or the luxury anymore to have it as a card going first, because going first you need all your 5 cards to combo, and you can't really risk it to set this card for turn 2 or to discard it or just have a dead card in the hand. So I decided going second. If I play into boards like Rescue Ace, or it's good against Labyrinth as well, but not in every matchup I sided. And the last 2 cards are the Crime, the counter for going first, and the Scattershot for time. I think I used it like 2 times in the German Open, so sadly it's mandatory, but yeah. That's it for the deck list. I had a lot of fun playing Tearlament for the remainder of this format before we go to Phantom Nightmare and like the extremely strong Populous engine that's gonna make like Fire King and Rescue Ace almost tier 0 again. I'm gonna keep playing Tearlament. And lately some shoutouts. Shoutouts to my team eXilium from Freiburg. They're always supporting me, so yeah, it's really great to have such a cool community here. Then shoutouts to my girlfriend Isabel, who's always supporting me. Shoutouts to Lumpy and Tim and Dinkang Pham. They did like the horror trip from Berlin to Essen over the night. And then Kang even shared a hotel room with me, so that was like really crazy. I played the whole event on 3 hours of sleep. And then shoutouts to Danilo. Danilo got top 8 YCS Bologna with tier. I talked to him before the event like the last 2 weeks, and he was like the main reason why I played Rescue as Impulse. So it was really cool talking with him, and he's a great player. And then shoutouts to Christian Thomas. That's a good friend of mine, and he's always like motivating me to keep playing and talking to me every day on Discord. So that's always a great help. And shoutouts to the Dueling Boys, Dueling's Boys from Casual Heroes. A lot of my friends were always supporting me, and yeah, it's cool to have so many people backing you up. And I would say that's it, and eXilium, peace out.